This is the Crazy Lounge, where we talk about random stuff like video games, movies, music, comics, anything that comes into our mind. Today's episode, Men in Black 3! Now, I was legitimately surprised they came out with the Men in Black 3 since it's been a decade since Men in Black 2 came out, you know?
It's been 10 years, yeah.
And Men in Black 2, in my opinion, sucked ass. It was horrible. I hated Men in Black 2. Men in Black 1 was really
Men in
good.
Black 2, though.
Men in Black 1 was good, but Men in Black 2
was great, man.
I did not like it. But then when I actually go saw Men in Black 3.
I actually liked the giant worm going around somewhere in New York, especially I liked how they updated the neuralizer and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. And when I went to see Men in Black 3, I was actually pleasantly surprised about how entertaining and good this movie actually was.
All of those movies are good. All the Men in Black. The only thing that sucked about it didn't have Jeeves like it did in the first two.
Yeah.
You know, where his head blew off and everything. You're insensitive prick.
It had the dog.
It didn't have the dog either. It didn't have Frank. It didn't have Frank the Pug. Yeah, Frank was kind of
he was in a picture.
He was in the picture, but I guess since it's like a lot later, I guess he died.
And we all know that Zed died. That's why you don't see Zed in there. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. The movie's been about a month, so if there's any spoilers in there, most people probably watch it's probably seen the movie by now.
Spoiler!
Woo!
Well, anyways, we all know it takes place in the year 2012. You know, it's been a decade. You know, we all know that Tommy Lee Jones' character has gotten old Kay, you know, and they're working together, and there's a lot of weird conflict going on. Next thing you know, something happened to Kay back in the 60s that prevented him from going on, so Jay goes back in time to 1969 to figure out what's going on, and he runs to the younger Kay, played by Josh Brolin, who played Jonah Hex. Who else? Oh yeah, also he played the main one of the guys from the Goonies as well.
Now I want to know is who played the actual villain, Boris the Animal.
I don't know. He's a good villain.
I've never actually seen him though in a movie, so I wasn't sure. I don't know who in the world played him, but he made a pretty good villain.
I know.
That's what it was though. The Boris the Animal got a time thing to go back in time to kill Kay. And then since he killed Kay in the 60s, the present day Kay seemed to exist.
And it took place around in the summer of 1969, around the moon landing.
Yeah. And I'm surprised. Yeah, I know the moon landing was about kind of stuff, but I'm surprised. Like even though it was a couple years after that, they didn't talk about a lot of the other big happenings when they're like the JFK assassination. Because the JFK assassination was still pretty fresh. It was a couple years.
It was only been 6 years, yeah.
And
I don't think that they had to include that. I mean, a lot of people.
Because of everything that was going on, including Vietnam and everything.
Then was the hippie movement, the civil rights,
Woodstock, Vietnam.
And of course, when Will Smith goes into the past, the first thing you see is a bunch of hippies in New York City just walking around.
And obviously, you actually see the construction of the World Trade Center as well.
Yeah, that's irony at its finest, but.
Because a lot of movies have blocked it out on TV.
Yeah, a lot of them have, but it was kind of cool seeing it, like in a movie, even though it was kind of cool seeing it in a movie again.
I know, especially every time when I watch the original Men in Black, you see the World Trade Center in it.
Yeah.
It could take place it was in 1997, 4 years before the disaster occurred.
Yeah, and also, because a lot of movies do block it now, like
Home Alone, if it showed on TV.
And the original Spider-Man. Yeah. Like the original Spider-Man trailer, you see him flying through New York City, and the original trailer had the World Trade Center in it. But
wait for the next review. We're gonna do it.
It had a
represent.
It had a spider web in between the two towers, and the helicopter got caught in between it.
Yeah.
So they banned it.
Anyway, Men in Black 3, he goes back in time in 1969 to try to find out what happened to Kay. And like I said, Josh Brolin played the young Kay, which the only plot hole I saw in the whole movie was they warned him before even going back in time to have no contact with Agent K whatsoever.
Or else he'll die.
Or else, and all kind of stuff. And yet, the whole movie...
Space-side continuum and blah, blah, blah.
And yet, the whole movie, he was with the young Agent K.
And one thing, you know, if we had a neuralizer right now, we'd probably wipe your memory to show this never happened, but we don't have a neuralizer. Sorry.
One thing that confused me, but Danny pointed out, was the alternate universe when they went back in time, because I remember distinctly throughout the movie they kept on saying, you don't have this in the future or something like that, but it was like, you know, high-tech stuff. I'm like, how do they not have this in the future and stuff like that? How do they have it in 1969, but
It was
pointed out it was an
alternate universe. And the thing that and the character I really liked, he was only in Men in Black 3 so far, was and that's because he can see like he's like 5-dimensional. Was Griffin.
Griffin's pretty interesting.
Griffin, he can see like 5 different dimensions and 5 different alternate universes at once. He was like, this will happen as long as this happens, but if this happens, this could happen, and then if this happens, this. I was like,
In fact, this guy who was 5 dimension, he was disguised himself as Andy Warhol.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. It was kind of interesting seeing a young Andy Warhol.
I know, but you know, we don't know what happened to him in the 80s.
And of course, comedy at its finest and all kind of stuff. I mean, Will Smith.
Will Smith is always good at playing Agent J.
And all kind of stuff. But yeah, there's some comedic moments. Like, it's pretty hard pressed to find a movie that Will Smith hasn't actually been very good. That hasn't been good in. Most of the movies that he's played in, it's been pretty decent in.
I know. I Am Legend he was good.
I Am Legend, Independence Day, Wild Wild West.
Also
Hancock.
And I also liked him in Bad Boys as well.
Bad Boys 1 and 2.
I'm thinking of a movie I can't think of it. A few years ago.
Hitch.
No.
Yeah, he was in Hitch.
He was funny in Hitch, especially when he got all everything.
The one that he played, the one that his son's with him too, and all kind of stuff. It was
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness. Yeah. But most of the movie, Will Smith is a very, very good actor. I mean, and come to think of, and ironically, he just starts off in a early 1990s sitcom, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and all of a sudden he just took off.
Who would have thought he would have done some of these great movies?
Yeah, and you know what the
I remember just when he was on Bel-Air and I watched him. I thought he was great, and I found he was the first film was Bad Boys.
And the thing is, he's still got many years ahead of me. I think he just turned 40.
Yeah, he actually turned 40 in 68, actually. So he's 40. So he's 40, almost 44. Almost 44.
But still,
He didn't turn in 68. He was born in 68.
He was born in 68. He was 40. He's 44 now.
44, but still, he still has held it like he's 44 years old.
I think it's because he dyed some of the gray hairs inside of him, though.
Yeah.
How do you know?
That's what I heard a rumor. It's a theory of mine.
Yeah, he might be right. I mean, he can.
I heard from other people about this.
But one of the more comedic moments I saw.
I talked to. Don't question me.
One of the more comedic things I saw was when they were actually trying to find out where Boris the animal was headed next. And they went to the bowling alley, and they take off the dude's head, and he decided to go roll it down the bowling alley.
They always have funny, evil alien villains and stuff like that. Plus, I like the action where they end up having a shootout and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. And the only thing that got a little bit confusing was at the very, very end when we were actually at the shuttle launch, and all of a sudden you see both Boris the animals around, and it was just, I was like, okay, what's going on here? Both of them meet eye to eye and all that kind of stuff, and he knocks off the Boris, or the old Boris, and here comes the young Boris. It was all kind of stuff.
And also, I like the hippie Boris look. He had the chopper and everything, and...
Anyway, if y'all haven't seen the movie yet,
go see it.
Go see it. It's a nice addition to the trilogy. And just real quick, but I've read too that Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith talking about possibly a 4th movie. So if the 3rd movie goes well, there might be a 4th Men in Black movie. They said they got so much more they can do with it. No,
I heard the 3rd one is a lot more successful than the 2nd one, I heard.
Yeah, the 2nd one was probably the worst. I mean, the 2nd one wasn't bad, but all kinds of stuff. But anyway, y'all go check out the movie if y'all ever have the chance.
Don't forget, also, next week's episode, The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep, we're gonna go check it out in theaters next week. And also
The Beatles.
the Beatles. They're gonna go to a Ringo concert next week, so they're gonna chronologically keep up with it. We're gonna do like a Beatles, and also the Spider-Man, and all that kind of stuff. So you'll probably see two crazy launches next week. So anyway, overall, Men in Black 3 gets thumbs up, seal of approval from me.
I give it a 9.0.
I give it an 8.5, and Katie has 2 thumbs up too. So overall,
We got
movie
2 thumbs up as well.
2 thumbs up. Go check it out. It's a lot better than Men in Black 2.
It's a really good storyline, dude. You know, it starts out slow, but most good movies do.
And all kind of stuff. So yeah, we're gonna
Wrap it up.
here. So y'all have a good day. This is the DKS3 of the Crazy Gamer
And Figgy666.
and Puppy Chick 08 signing out.